Okay, video 2, day 0 of our trip. As you can see, we've got a little bit of rain, which isn't ideal. So, our itinerary, we had a look at the North Coast 500 route. There's lots to do on the 500 route and lots of variations of the 500 route. None of it really caters for children. So if you've got children on tow, the last thing they want to do is see 40 castles. 40 castles is great, I guess, if you like castles, but we're not really into castles, so we want to go and see Scotland and see what Scotland's all about. So first thing I did, I gave the children a piece of paper and I said, go Google Scotland, kids, and write down a list of what you would like to do. Here it is. So, National Museum. We've got swotty children, really. Kelvin Grove Art Gallery, Glasgow. National Museum, Edinburgh Old Town, Stirling Castle, Balconneal Beach. Hope I pronounced that right. The Camera Obscura and World of Illusion. Dunvegan Castle on Skye, and St Andrews Museum. So that's what the children gave us. So we've incorporated that into our route. So that's one piece of paper. Next piece of paper was the wife's. So this is what the wife wanted to do. Snowdonia National Park, Aberystwyth, Vale of Rheidol Railway. If we can't do the Harry Potter train, we'd like to try and get on the what they call the Harry Potter train at Fort William. The name of it eludes me right now, but we'll come to that in a second. So if we can't get on that, we're going to try and do the Rheidol Railway. St Fanagan's National Museum in Cardiff, Tenby Beach and Tenby Dinosaur Park, and Cardiff National Museum. So that's what the wife wanted to do, really. That's hers is concentrated on Wales. She really wants to do a bit of Wales on the way back. Okay, so that was that piece of paper. When we had a look at the itinerary for the North Coast 500, we realised a lot of this stuff you have to pay for. It's quite expensive, 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds a family to go in some of these castles. So we joined the Historic Scotland. It was about £100, I think, for the family membership, but it gives you free access to all of their castles and bits and bobs. Really useful book that they give you with this. Worth every penny. I know my sister and her family, they do a lot of travelling in England and they always join the National Trust every year, and every time we go with them they go in for free, and it normally costs us 60 or 70 quid. So I think that's one of the all important ones. Look, the Urquhart Castle, and I think that's on Loch Ness from memory. So one of the important places that we all wanted to go and see, and there's all sorts of bits and bobs in here. Really useful guide, and again, once you've joined, it's very good value for money. I'm not associated with the Historic Scotland in any way, shape or form. It was just something, when you look into the costs involved in doing one of these trips, it was something we felt important just to keep the costs down for us as a family. So that's that one. We're trying to wild camp as often as we can. We don't really want to go in campsites. I think that would spoil the whole idea of travelling Scotland. Scotland, as a rule, the police, the councils are generally reasonably forgiving. There were some problems with COVID, with some people abusing the sites, fighting, lighting bonfires, leaving all their rubbish at the side of the road. We won't be doing that, and I would advise anybody else watching this not to do that either. At the end of the day, if we all want to continue doing this wild camping and travelling, be polite, take your rubbish away with you, don't do bonfires, try not to start fighting with the locals. We had a look at a few of these different car parks where you can actually book on. So some of these councils now will allow you to book a motorhome slot. This is our stop number 2. So first stop's Bridlington, second stop is Bamburgh Castle. So, and again, we looked that up. Northumberland County Council will allow you to book a motorhome spot in one of their car parks. I think it was 12 quid overnight. So it just makes stress-free. So we know where we're going on that second night, and we know it's going to be reasonably stress-free. The other thing we need to do, the motorhome, we've got about 3 or 4 days worth of water and showers and stuff like that. So we need to find somewhere to empty the toilet and top up with water every 3 or 4 days. So I've tried to book us on a camping site or an overnight stay on a site of some description every 3rd or 4th day if we can. again, emptying your toilet in fields and bushes and stuff like that is a no-no. So let's not do it. Let's try and be friendly to our neighbours and not ruin it for everybody else. So that's Northumberland County Council. We're going to park at Bamburgh for the night. That's night number 2. And then we're on to, these are some of our bits and bobs we booked along the way. So we booked the theatre at Arbroath, or Arbroath, however you pronounce it. That was really good value for money. About 44 quid for the family, just for the Dinosaur Adventure Live. We thought that was a nice treat for the kids. That's on day 3 or 4, I believe. And then Isle of Skye, Mercandale, so a little campsite. You can have a shower, empty your toilets, get rid of your rubbish, top up with water. That was really good value for money. I think that was £22, something like that. So we've got 3 nights there. Very nice lady, very easy to deal with, and smack bang in the middle of the Isle of Skye. So we've got the 11th, 12th and 13th of August there. And again, just fantastic. Again, empty the toilets, top up with water. This is what the children wanted to do. Camera secure at World of Illusions. I think that was quite an expensive ticket, to be honest, 60, 70 quid for the 4 of us. But again, it was on the children's list, and it's a couple of hours, and that's in Edinburgh on the way back round. And then we had a word with that. We looked at parking for Edinburgh because we're going to the tattoo on the 19th, and the campsites aren't close enough. We haven't got a car with us. We needed some way of getting in and out of Edinburgh, and more so the problem being getting out of Edinburgh on the evening at 11 o'clock. There's a lot of places where there's no access at that time apart from taxis, and the 6.5 metre motorhome, you can't park it in the centre of Edinburgh. So we had a look at the park and rides. There's 7 of them in Edinburgh. Only 2 of them have no height restrictions. One of them is at New Craig Hall, and the other one is at Wallingford. I spoke to Scottish Rail. I sent them an email, said, can we park overnight? And they sent me an email back, yes you can, 50p. So that's fantastic for motorhomes, and you just jump on the train and there's a night bus to get us back at the end of the night, which is brilliant. And again, if that car park's full, there's about 540 spaces. I spoke to Road Services at Edinburgh Council. I've got to say thank you, really. Thank you to Edinburgh Council. I mean, you were amazing. The guy replied back, I think, at 7 o'clock in the morning the following day, which was amazing, and just said, yes, you can park overnight at Wallingford for free. Enjoy the tattoo. I mean, what fantastic, what lovely people. And again, same for Scottish Rail. Thank you very much for ScotRail Customer Relations. Brilliant. Can't say thank you enough for that. That really helped us out. The Royal Edinburgh Tattoo, an expensive ticket. 400 quid for the family of 4. And we couldn't get into the 19th. So we had to modify our journey for the North Coast 500 to sort of, we were going to start with a tattoo and then work our way round. Now we've got to work our way round and come back to the tattoo. Not a massive issue. And again, an expensive ticket for a family of 4, but it's supposed to be amazing. Everybody I've spoken to said it is something that it's a must-see. It's one of those bucket list things for your life. Especially if you're in the UK, you really need to travel and see the tattoo at least once. And I think the children now, they're 6 and 8, so they're going to be old enough to appreciate it. So that way, I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a highlight of the trip. And we're actually travelling down to Wales and then finishing at the Veterans MX Destinations, which is a motocross event. So it's a full weekend event. It's something I'm interested in. It's what I wanted to do. So this was my choice for the trip, which again is why we're coming down the Welsh coast and then back across to this to finish our trip off before we come home. Okay, so let's have a look at my itinerary. There's a few important things that you will need that we bought. Obviously, a concise road atlas of Britain. We're not always guaranteed we're going to have charge phones, charge sat-nav, or even sat-nav or phone reception, especially right up in the far north. We haven't done it yet, so I'm not sure. We've been told that phones are a bit sketchy at some point, so you can't rely really. I don't want to rely solely on the sat-nav and the phones. So we have an atlas of Britain. Doesn't get any better than the AA one. Again, no affiliation to the AA. Just it was on offer in the works. So £6. Really detailed, really useful, especially if you're travelling around. You need to find a little country lane or somewhere you need to pull over and have a cup of tea and a rest or whatever. So absolutely brilliant. Okay, so that's that. Also, I bought all the documents for the camper van just in case. So we've got the logbook. And we've got the AA cover. AA cover gives you cover up to 3.5 tonnes. The camper van is just under 3.5 tonnes. That was a bargain for the year. a certificate of motor insurance, and the MOT test. Just important stuff in case we get pulled over for any reason, although it shouldn't really be any reason. But anyway, so just in case is always, my old PE teacher said, just in case, never forgets his PE kit. So here we go. So here's the traditional North Coast 500 route. So we looked at this: Inverness, Cliver, Culloden, Distillery, Castle, Steps, Wick, Tower, Castle, John O'Groats. So as you can see, it's Castle, Brewery. Nothing in there really for the children. So we've kind of modified it. We're going to do a similar kind of a route and then end back in down in Edinburgh. So we're going to come up here, around here, all the way around here, down here, onto the Isle of Skye, back down, Fort William, Stirling, and across that way to Edinburgh, back to the tattoo on the 19th. Like I say, I've modified this because it's not particularly children friendly. And as you know, with young children, if they're moaning for the entire trip that all you've done is drag them around castles, it's going to spoil it for everybody. So let's modify it and make it a little bit children friendly. Okay, so next step, I started with these lists, things to do, with all these different points, different dates. It's a really tedious task, watching everybody's blogs and videos and seeing what's good, what isn't good. So then I got to this kind of thing, so excuse my scruffy drunken spider writing, but we've got family in Bridlington. We wanted to come up the East Coast, so we thought Bridlington, Staithes is a really nice place to stay overnight, Whitley Bay, Sea Houses, Bamburgh Castle, Perth, Dundee, Aberdeen, Peterhead, Fraserburgh, Banff, Inverness, I can't read my own writing, Hemsdale, John O'Groats, Durness, Scorn, Ullapool, Lade, Pooloo, Loch something or other, Gairloch, Torridon, Loch Arran, Fort William, Oban, Stirling, Edinburgh, Ayr, Griven, Dumfries, Worthington, Seascale, Blackpool, Snowdonia. Basically, we started off with these lists and just looking. Again, we had a word with the kids to see what they wanted to do. So they wanted to do the Kelpies at Stirling, Heads of Ayr Farm Park, National Museum of Scotland, Edinburgh Old Town, Stirling Castle, Balconeel Beach, Camrosgira. So these, again, we incorporated these children's things that they wanted to do. I had a look at places to stay. Belekna Bar, we didn't want to do that. That's the little tiny road that goes up through the mountains. We're in a 6.5 motorhome, 2 adults, 2 children. I didn't want to do that. I don't want stress. When we go down to Cornwall and we go down a tiny little streets, it drives my wife absolutely scranny. She's clinging on to the little bar above the door with a very white face, and so I don't want that. We don't want any stress on the trip, so we're going to miss that, the Belekna Bar, which is a shame. A lot of people say, oh, you can't miss it, it's amazing, but again, it's not particularly child friendly. And all we're doing is looking out the window at mountains and driving down a really narrow road that's really difficult to navigate, so why bother? So we're going to Elliott Caravan Park at Arbroath, confirmed. Golspie Camping, confirmed. Mercandale on Skye, confirmed. And then a lot of the rest of it we'll be doing wild camping. And again, sort of this itinerary, we then got to Bridlington, Staithes to Bamburgh to Arbroath to Lossiemouth to Golspie to John O'Groats to Balconeel Beach. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing any of this correctly. Balconeel to Almavic Bay, Almavic to Gairloch Beach, Gairloch to Isle of Skye to Fort William to Stirling, and Stirling to Edinburgh. For me, this is as child friendly as it gets. Lots of beaches, lots of cool things to do, and if we've got the weather with us, it will be amazing. If not, we'll be spending a lot of time in the camper van playing games and watching telly. So, it's the luck of the draw, unfortunately, with the UK. If you've got the weather, this will be an amazing itinerary. If we haven't, it probably will be a little bit painful. But so this is my final draft. We wanted, because we saw the show at Arbroath, we missed the Staines out, so I've Tipp-Ex the Staines out. Unfortunately, I was trying to do 1.5 hour, 2 hour journeys for most of the trip, which will keep the stress down with the children and allow us to spend more time at each individual place. So the Bridlington to Staithes, which was an hour and a half, I've had to go straight to Bamburgh now, because on Wednesday the 3rd, it's the Arbroath show, which we wanted to go and see. So we've got a couple of 3.5 hour journeys there to get us into Scotland, which is a shame because I've missed a few places out. But the show looks amazing. So Bridlington, is our first stop. We'll see the in-laws, so that's Gina's mum and dad, and we'll stay with them for a couple of days, do some fun things with the kids. It's always fun. They're always brilliant to be with. They're always amazing with the kids, so we're looking forward to that. So then Bamburgh, Bridlington to Bamburgh is 3.5 hour trip. At Bamburgh we've got the overnight stay with the council. We've booked the spot, so we're going to get up in the morning, have a look around Bamburgh Castle, and probably set off from there at about 10-11 o'clock to get us into Arbroath around lunchtime, so we can get settled in the site, find a way to get ourselves to the theatre for about 4 o'clock. So Bridlington, Bamburgh, 3.5 hours. Bamburgh to Arbroath is 3.5 hours, and then we've got Arbroath to Lossiemouth, about a 2-hour trip. At Lossiemouth we're then going to Golspie, and we've got electric hookups there, £25 a night at Anne Edwards' little site there, which is on my list. It's a couple of hours drive, so we're overnight there, and then we go from Golspie to John O'Groats. Overnight at John O'Groats, we're going to wild camp there somewhere. It's about an hour and 34 minutes. John O'Groats to Baltonickhill Beach, 2 hours 40, and again another overnight stay there. We'll wild camp. Baltonickhill Beach to Achmelvich Bay, and again overnight stay there, hour and 30. Achmelvich Bay to Gairnlock Beach, again overnight stay there, wild camp, 2 hours 17 minutes. Gairlock to the Isle of Skye, overnight. Then we've got 3 nights on the Isle of Skye. I don't know how we're going to plan that, whether we're going to get there a little bit early or go to Fort William a little bit later, but that's a 2 hours 6 minutes. Isle of Skye with 3 nights on there that we've booked in, so I'm not sure how this itinerary will change slightly, but it will. And then Isle of Skye to Fort William is 2 hours 14. And we didn't know whether to do 2 or 3 days at Fort William. We'd like to get on the train. We want to go up on the chairlift up to the beautiful restaurant Ben Nevis. I think I've got that correct. And we also, the Jacobite, that's what the train's called. There's no tickets available for the Jacobite, it's fully booked. I've spoken to the rail company that deal with Jacobite. There is no cheats. Basically the ticket collector on the platform in the morning has a small amount of tickets available for cash purchase, so it's a case of rocking up there an hour before the train leaves and hope that we can get on, which is why I've allowed 2 or 3 days, so we can try every morning and see if we can get on the Jacobite train. It was something we really wanted to do. It looks really exciting, goes across all the little bridges like you see in the Harry Potter movies. It's a fantastic thing to do with the kids, but like I say, it's been fully booked for nearly a year, so it'll just be down to whether we can get tickets in the morning. A bit of a shame, but never mind. Fort William, then on to Stirling. We've got to do the bits in Stirling, and then depending on how that goes, maybe an overnight in Stirling, but we've left a couple of days here, look. We've got the 16th, 17th, 18th, really. We don't need to be in Edinburgh for the tattoo until the 19th. So I've allowed these 3 sort of days to extend Skye, shorten Fort William, extend Stirling, whichever. So we've got a little bit of playroom there, which is great. And then, so we're Edinburgh for the tattoo. We're meeting some friends there. They're coming in on the train. They're going to stay overnight with us and go back on the train in the morning. So that'll be fun. And then we'll leave Edinburgh and head away across to Ayr. Now, possibly Gulliver's World, I don't know, some theme parks up the top. Then I've left this free, so this is our trip down through Wales on the sort of 20, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. We haven't got anything booked for this. We're just going to take that as it comes. Should be quite fun. You need a little bit of uncertainty, not knowing where we're going to be or what we're going to do. So we'll see how that pans out. And again, we'll be doing a daily blog. So the children are going. I've asked my 8-year-old Esme, who's just really into her blogging and stuff, watches a lot of YouTube like these children do nowadays, all these American little shows and bits and bobs. She wants to do a daily 2-minute video, where we are, what it was like, was it worth it, was it fun. So she's going to do that. So we'll do a day-by-day little blog about where we went, what we got up to, and whether it was worth doing. Hopefully it'll be helpful to other people that want to do this trip. So there, and then we're down to the MX, the Veterans Motocross Destinations, and then on Monday the 29th we come home. So that's it, that's our itinerary, that's the plan. We'll see how it all goes. We've got loads of bits of spare paper, look, so we can change things and modify things as we go along. I've copied it a little bit clipboardy really, but just in case we have to change as we go along and make alterations due to weather or all sorts of bits and bobs that could happen. And some spare paper, obviously. So that's it. That is the Applewhite modified North Coast 500 trip of Scotland, down through Wales, back to the motocross destinations, and then home. And we've got 4 weeks to do it in. We'll either be very stressed and very unhappy after 4 weeks, or we'll come back with some life-changing memories. You know, really good stuff. So please watch the blogs, and hopefully this is helpful. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.